Welcome to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand.
Yes, hello and welcome back to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand. Not a very good result for the boys in red tonight. Liverpool 0, Atalanta 2. A shocking performance, to be honest with you, this evening at Anfield. If you do want to get your comments in for us to read anything out in particular so we can get them across to our fan cameras tonight, then please do like, subscribe, all that stuff as well if you haven't already. But Doyle, I'm going to bring him in first. How you doing, fella?
I'm
okay?
alright, lads. Bit of a heavy that one, weren't everyone that one, eh?
Yeah, what happened? I mean, we can get some of the stats up here from the game first and foremost to go through. The big glaring one here is that not one shot was registered as on target, 3 shots wide. I mean, to not have one shot on target is awful, Doyle. And then if you look at these stats as well, I mean, it just doesn't read good for Liverpool. 53.6% possession, but that's the stat that we all can see. Not one shot on target. Talk to me.
Terrible, lad. It was just one of them games where I feel like we totally underestimated that squad then, lad. I was saying it myself on the other day when I was saying we're comfortably winning and stuff. But I was saying that, thinking that we're going to put a full-strength team out. And whilst we did have the top 3 there, lad, you've got to be starting Jota for me, lad. You know what I mean? You've got to start him, lad. He's been scoring goals. And tonight, lads, it looked like we couldn't be bothered. That's what it looked like, lads. And we couldn't find that extra gear, or we couldn't find that extra shift to take it up to the next level. Origi, lads. Oh, mate. I don't know, lads, he's finished for me, you know.
Origi finished then for Doyle. Let us know if you agree with that.
Thanks for the memories, lad. Thanks for the memories, bro.
Divock, Doyle says. I mean, you can't solely blame this on Divock Origi. I can't actually name you one player, bro, who played well tonight at all.
They're all crap,
they're all rubbish, to be fair. Not one chance. The only thing I can possibly remember is Salah had a right-footed shot towards the end of the first half that went well over the bar. Again, no shots on target, though. I can't remember anything. And I'm here saying, what's happened at Anfield today, Alex? Can't believe the result. Hi, Doyle. What's your thoughts about the game? I mean, myself, you, and James, all included, predicted this to be a Liverpool win. You said 4-1. I said 3-1. I mean, to come away with 2-0, you're right. We completely underestimated them. I thought Gomez had a brilliant game tonight for them, the little Argentinian.
Yeah, he played well.
And we just absolutely lacked energy. We lacked creativity. And as Ibrahim here says, that was a reality check. Time to get our heads back in the game for Saturday, Doyle.
Yeah, I think this is what we went into that game. Like, we put our team on, like a B team out. We did that on purpose. And that whole mentality was in the game. We was like, we're just going to win this game, or we're just going to get a goal. And they got 2 goals dead quickly, and that was it, lad. Game over, because we didn't take them seriously. And I think when we go into the Prem, we have a different mentality. So I'm not really worried about the game against Brighton on Saturday. I just don't like to see that mentality from a team ever, regardless if we're in a winner position or not. You know what I mean? I want to see them win, lads. So that was not great. But still, I'm not worried for Saturday because it's the Prem, lads. And I know in the Prem, that's where we start to have that gear, the different gear. You know what I mean?
Yeah, different gear in the Premier League, but I suppose when you play at home to Atalanta, you obviously still expect to win.
Yeah,
like we keep emphasising, not one shot on target. The whole game is truly unlike Liverpool. Is this fair to say, though, that this is probably the second worst performance of the season after Aston Villa, obviously?
I would say so, definitely. I was talking about Origi earlier. I wasn't saying that it's his fault. It's definitely his fault, lad. Everyone was crap. But what it did show today was Bobby in the middle of Mane and Salah is still so important, because them two just didn't talk to each other today either. They weren't connecting with each other, and that's because there was no one in the middle of them helping them join the dots. Do you know what I mean? And I just feel like we just lacked energy, like you said. We just didn't have any type of motivation in this game other than to just maybe win it, get a draw. And now we've put ourselves in a position where we have to win one of the next 2 games. And we can probably still do it, but I don't like seeing my team just go meh. That's what that game was. They just didn't want to do it, lads. So they didn't. That's what that was then.
Really weird to see Liverpool so bereft of energy, especially at home, especially under the lights in the Champions League.
Lads.
2 games to go in this group. Midtjylland away, which, I mean, although it is Midtjylland, any away game in Europe is a tough one, as we know. And then Ajax at home. You'd like to think that if we can just win one out of those 2, we'd go through. We wanted it to be wrapped up tonight. We could have actually won the group tonight. Disappointing, and even though it is Midtjylland, we have to play the full strength team for that one now, surely.
Yeah,
because ideally we would have qualified tonight and played the kids in the last 2 games.
Well, that's what I think we should have done, lad. But we never. We played all the kids tonight, lad. And but having said that, we still put a stronger team out. We still put Gini out there. We still put Manny and Salah. So the fact that we haven't had no shots on target is terrible. I don't know what them 2 were doing up there at the top. Just not a great game, lad. The only thing I can remember that was decent, lad, was Alisson saving the ball, lad, from a mad shot.
Yeah,
that was it, lad.
Strong
And that's
right
not
hand,
even good for us, you know what I mean, lad? So that was one of the worst performances I've seen under Jurgen Klopp. Bad at Aston Villa 100%, lad. Disappointing AF, bro.
Yeah, I mean, everyone in the comments is agreeing there. One question that all Liverpool fans really want to know at the minute, and there hasn't been much discussion on it from Jurgen Klopp. He said he's around the corner maybe, but I mean, if we had Thiago tonight, as Anam asks here, we definitely would have been more creative. And although it was only a home game in the Champions League to Atalanta, it still counts as a European home defeat for Liverpool. We've had 2 of those this year alone, which is very rare. But if we had Thiago back, we're just a different team, and we haven't seen him hardly at all so far. And I think in a game like this, he could have played well.
Lads, I'm starting to get annoyed. I'm not even joking. I'm starting to get pissed off.
It's like a dream. Did we even sign him?
Yeah, lad, I just need some powerful through balls, lad. That's all I want, you know what I mean? I just want some potent through balls, lad. And I'm not getting them, and I don't know where he is or what he's doing, lad. I feel like a clingy boyfriend or something, lad. I'm like, where is he? What's he doing?
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, why is this man not playing football, lad? What's going on?
Heavy. Right, speaking of playing the kids tonight, let's get some of the youngsters involved. We've got Theo and Welford here, and then we're going to get on to Darren, and then we've still got James Redmond to come, guys. So please lock in for that. Stay tuned. First and foremost, hello, lads. How are we doing?
Good.
Not the best result at all, as we can see from these stats here, lads. 0 shots on target. Where and why did it go wrong tonight? Start off with Welford.
For me, I think Doyle touched on it before. I think tonight needed to be a very strong team, in my opinion. I think just get it wrapped up. I know we've had a couple of games in quick succession, but I think for me, wrap it up. Then you've got 2 games to save. Now we're putting ourselves under massive pressure, especially Midtjylland. We were all right in the home fixture. I know we played a weak team, but we've seen it in the past. Red Star Belgrade give us a great game away. We got battered by them. So you never know what can happen. And Ajax are still in it now, so they're going to come. Whenever we play them next week, they're going to come thirsty, and they can believe that they'll beat us, and they've got a good chance to do that if we don't perform and play a stronger team next week.
Yeah, Theo, do you agree with that, mate?
Yeah, I think we just lacked the spark of Jota tonight. I mean, I love Origi for the 18-19 season where we won the Champions League and he saved us many times, but I think he's just not good enough these past 2 seasons, and I think if Jota had started, we may have got a bit more creativity from the start.
Yeah, I think there was a big call for Jota to start. In the commentary before, they said it was a rare start for Origi. I mean, Doyle touched on Origi earlier. I think if we don't have a shot on target throughout the whole game, then yeah, you do have to look at your striker. But for him not to even be helped out by the likes of Salah tonight, or Mane and Firmino when he came on, and then Jota came on, definitely tried Jota, but I think it's unfair to look at this as Origi's fault, lads.
Yeah, someone made a good point before saying you can't expect someone to come in after not playing a competitive game for weeks or months and come and score goals. We know what he's done in the past, scoring some massive goals for us, but we all know he doesn't play regularly enough. He might come off the bench for the last 2 minutes of a game, which is not his player of quality. We know he's got some good quality in him, but I think his time in Liverpool is kind of over. I know he's obviously scored some massive goals, but I think you can't blame it all on him today. I think Mane was very, very poor. Normally, Mane, when he's in these type of games, he's probably one of the best players on the pitch in red. he normally performs, but we can't rely everything on Mane yet again. And Origi, I know obviously he's very, very poor tonight, but he ran his legs into the ground, but we can't blame everything on him, in my opinion.
Yeah, a couple of comments about Origi in the comments there. Theo, just before he jumped on, says he thinks Divoc's time is up. He served us well, but hasn't got the same spark as Jota. David here says, sell Div, see ya, mate. Some unfair criticism coming in from Stevie saying, get Neco out of my club, which is totally unfair. I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? Because we're so used to winning games, you know, whether that's by a big scoreline or whether we sneak it at the last minute. We're all so used to winning games now. So as soon as we lose one, I mean, listen, we have lost a few games this year. I can't lie. Since the start of the year, it's not been as it was in 2019. But as soon as we lose a game, we can't start doing this. And I think everyone was to blame tonight, Doyle, don't you think?
I think this is just down to
what I said. Who's to blame?
This is just complacency, lad, from the players. Simple as that. They're a great team, lad. They've won stuff. They've been consistent, lad. So they could think they can just consistently just do it. And sometimes you can't, lad. And this is what happens when you underestimate teams. It happened against Aston Villa. And it's happened against Atalanta because we thought we're just going to win this. We beat them 5-0. Of course, we're just going to think at Anfield we're going to smash them again, lad. But we haven't because we've underestimated them. And now we've lost the game and put ourselves in a position. That's the way I see it. I see in Klopp's face, lad, on one of the cut things on it. And his face just looked like heavy. Picked the wrong squad. Because he did, lad. He did, but it just didn't work, lad. I think the reason why we're all saying Origi is because Jota has been in form, lad. And he's taken Jota out of the team, essentially. And because of that, we're a bit like... So I think that's why he's getting pointed at more than the other players. But yeah, it's definitely not Origi's fault. It's everyone because they were all crap. That's about it, lad. That's how... getting beat at Anfield as well is... heavy, lads.
Never nice. It's never nice. It's never nice getting beaten at Anfield. Theo, Ajax at home in the next game, another home game. 0 shots tonight. We're going to hope that obviously we get more than that, against Ajax. But we have to win that game now because, listen, if we draw that game or even if we do lose it, everything rests on Midtjylland away.
Yeah, I mean, it's really not ideal. We had the chance tonight and we didn't take it. It's put us in this tight situation that we really didn't want to be in. I think we have to play a stronger 11 now, which, in my opinion, we should have played that tonight. And then if we'd have done that tonight, we would have been able to rest players for our last 2 games and focus on the Premier League.
Yeah, Welford, looking ahead to Saturday, is it just right? Back in the lineup for Jota, back in centre-back for Fabinho, maybe even get Thiago just to lift up the morale a bit. I think if Thiago can play, even if he's 60-70%, I think he has to start now.
Yeah, I think Doyle mentioned before, as soon as Liverpool play in the Premier League, it's just, you know what, this is serious now, you can't be slipping up here. I think on Saturday we'll see a different performance. Well, fingers crossed we do. I think especially today, everyone was a bit leggy after the massive win against Leicester. It dreamed a lot of good performance out of place. Like Milner wasn't at his best. I think it drained them massively. But I think, as Doyle said before, on a Saturday Brighton, they'll turn up big time. And yeah, I think Thiago, no matter if he's half fit, just playing for the 45 minutes just to get things rolling, get some of them balls, put him through what we know he does best, like Everton, when he played Everton a couple of months back. But yeah, for me, it'll be a different notch on Saturday, and I reckon we'll get an easy win at Brighton.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, quick word, Theo, before we bring in Darren about Tsimikas tonight. Didn't have the best game, was booked, taken off for Robertson. It just didn't fall for him tonight. He put a couple of good crosses in the first half. No one was really wanting to attack them. Tough one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to judge him after this game because obviously it's hard for him. I think he played maybe once in the Cup or something and then been put in like a quite an important game in the Champions League. But yeah, he wasn't great tonight. Not
great tonight at all. Welford, I mean, Robertson goes back in at left back, surely. But did you notice that later on in the game, Robertson and Nico Williams swapped sides? This is something Klopp likes to do.
Yeah, maybe. I think Klopp obviously knew he made a mistake earlier on in the game with the team and how well Atalanta started. And yeah, we did see them swap. Obviously, I know it happens a lot of corners when Robbo's taking an in-swinger on the far right. But yeah, they definitely did swap. I think it gives a bit of colourful ideas to maybe like let Robertson cut in because we know how good he is on his little runs through the pitch. And when he gets momentum going, he's unstoppable. But yeah, definitely strong team on Saturday in my eyes. Robertson needs to start. Tsimikas was, he had some really poor bits, but I thought he had some half decent bits. He won the ball back a couple of times in the middle of the park, but overall, that is like his first proper competitive game against a good side. So, and Atalanta were really good tonight, so we can't take that away from them.
Yeah, right. Listen, lads, hopefully things are a lot better, as Mark says here, on Saturday against Brighton. Thanks to Welford and Theo. We'll see you on the next one, lads.
Yeah, nice one.
Chin up. No worries.
See you there.
Right. Let's bring in Darren and make that double D combination once more.
Darren, mate.
All right, Doyle. How are you, Alex?
Not bad, Daz, mate. I'm
sounds
looking
gone
forward
scatty again.
to. I'll bring you out and take you back in, boat. Darren, talk to me about tonight from start to finish. Woeful, lackluster, 0 shots
there
on
we go.
target. Is this the second worst performance of the season?
Absolutely, yeah, definitely is. And it's probably, I can't remember the last bad performance like that at Anfield. Probably you would have to go back to our last Premier League defeat at Anfield, April 2017. I would probably say it's up there with it. Look, there was no shots on target tonight. I suppose hindsight's a good thing. We talk about team selection and stuff, but we also give out about the injuries in the games we've had. If there was one game you could say, okay, we can lose, we know we're going to get through this group. The question is, will we top it, or are we going to get second place? There's absolutely no doubt about it. We're going to qualify in this group. If we win Saturday, tonight will be forgotten about as quick as it came, which I think we will win Saturday, because you look at any time we've lost under Jurgen Klopp, or we've been sluggish or poor or whatever, and the results haven't went our way, we've always responded brilliantly. And you look at Philip, we responded brilliantly with an early kick-off after an international break with a couple of injuries, and we really should have won at Everton. I know we got the draw, but the two mad decisions that went against us. But yeah, it was an off night, lads. Really, really poor. We got what we deserved to be beaten. You can't play a game and not have a shot on target and expect to get something from it. But sometimes the youngsters will learn more on a defeat in a European game than what they will by winning. Sometimes they'll reflect more on it. They can, I suppose, look back on it and think of the things they went wrong on, where they can improve in. And it's a bit of a reality check as well for some of the young lads, because there was a lot of them tonight. A lot of players that were only back from injury as well in the team, like Matip. Mane played tonight, who I was surprised with. I didn't expect Mane to start. And did he play 90 minutes? He did, didn't he? So I was very surprised with the big games coming up, and especially with them coming thick and thin now. I should say thick and fast. Brighton, Ajax Tuesday, and then the following week at home to Wolves. So they're all massive games against massive, powerful opposition, Brighton and Wolves particularly. And Ajax will come at us. They'll be confident after seeing us losing tonight. But we went there, we beat them. Look, we can turn it on, lads. We can go with a stronger team when it's that added pressure is on us. We're at home in Europe. I expect us to do the job. We're one win away from qualifying with 2 games left. I wouldn't be surprised if we even get all 6 out of our last 2. But no doubt about it, lads. I feel the pain tonight. It's disappointing. But I did say yesterday, Saturday's bigger than better. And I think that's more important for us with the position we're in now at the moment and how things are for us.
Yeah, the title of the video tonight, lackluster, not one shot on target. That's all well and good saying that. But at the same time, we do have to say, Atalanta, they played brilliantly from start to finish. Even in the first 10 minutes, I think they might have had 5 shots away, or they were in a couple of times at least. 2 goals in 5 minutes completely killed us off. And then they managed the game really well after that. And you can see why they were so good last season and got so far in the competition last season. But you have to give it to Atalanta tonight. They had a game plan. They obviously wanted revenge. We just smacked them up 5-0 at their own backyard a couple of weeks ago, Doyle. So
yeah,
that was the motivation for them tonight. Surely it was, let's get revenge.
So I've been saying all night, lad. We just underestimated a great team, lad. I said earlier on in the other streams that we've beat them 5-0 so that we can beat them again and that. But what we did that tonight was just stick a really young, unexperienced team out against a really experienced team that knows to play against with each other. It was just a silly decision, I think, to play Neco Williams and Reece Williams together. We should have played a strong defence, and we should have played Jota. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, a lot of people say we should have started Jota. Big welcome here to James Redmond.
Satin and Jay, lads.
Going on, boys, for fuck's sake. How
Innit,
are
lads?
you, mate? It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to see you.
Pal.
Pleasure to see you.
Lovely
You
to
too,
have
pal.
all three of you on at the same time. James, I know you just filmed your instant reaction. Give us a little insight into what was filmed. I mean, shocking performance. A lot of comments here saying that's the worst performance under Jurgen Klopp at Anfield.
Very, very, very big shout. I just think the fact that, you know what, I'm not even upset about the results. You've just got it first off, and someone came into my live stream just then and said, shame on Klopp. And I think, no, shame on you if you have that attitude, because Jurgen Klopp has been given a set of circumstances where it's a near impossible situation to go into every single game and win, especially when we were all saying he needed to rest players today. That's the first thing I want to get out the way. Today's fault is the players. I weren't a big fan of the fight from a lot of the players today. I'm not going to lie. I'm not saying they showed none of it, but one thing I will say, the closing down at times today was shocking. Well, not at times. All over the game was poor, piss poor. And do you want me to tell you another thing? The marking at times, very lackadaisical. I think it's their second goal. Reece Williams, young kid, giving the slack. No one deserves to jump on his back and say, that's it, but he's young, he's got time. But that was shit. That was poor. And I think anyone is allowed to discredit a player when they've made one little error in their game and when they've had a poor performance, because that should make them better if they have the right mindset. But that was poor from Reece Williams, and I think Jurgen Klopp will definitely pull him up on that. Neco Williams as well, again. And Alex, I understood why you said that you wanted to see him play against Leicester. But one thing I don't want to say I know, because I think that's quite a conceited thing to say. I know. I think everyone has got their own opinion, and rightly so to it. But I just think that Neco isn't ready. And I think that would be proven if he was to play in big games like Leicester and stuff like that. Today, I wanted them to start, do not get me wrong. But I think today was a good reason to see him. Saying like Shimikas and stuff, it was a good game to see these players and see how they do and see how they live up. Again, Neco Williams just didn't impress me today, and I just think he needs to build a lot more experience over time. He's definitely not ready to be Liverpool's right back right now. He's not ready to replace Trent right now. What in the absence of Trent, I don't mean overall, of course. I'm talking about the absence. But other poor performances midfield, shite. I don't really know how else to put it. You know, Genie has been playing like so many minutes this season, so I really wish we could have tried to give him a rest today. Obviously, that's nearly impossible again with the situation. Curtis Jones, kind of like, besides that Leicester performance, that was just the usual Curtis Jones performance I've been used to kind of seeing this season. What else? Who else even played? James Milner, he was probably the best of the three, in my opinion. I thought he was probably the standout. He brought a bit of experience, brought a bit of stability. But it was good to see Shimikas. Don't get me wrong. I thought he showed little positive signs. I'm grabbing, boys. I'm grabbing anything. I was happy to see the quadruple substitution made when it was. But none of them really could have made a massive impact. And yeah, it was shit. Bollocks.
Yeah, rubbish tonight. Darren, both of the goals tonight come from crosses. The first one, it was a good ball, to be fair. We can't disagree with that. But the second one headed back across, and Reece Williams nowhere to be seen. You could see that he was the one marking. I think Shimikas maybe lost his man for the first one. Shimikas taken off. David makes a good point here, Darren. One kid in the back, okay, but two, ? Is this a game where we maybe should have gone for someone like a Matip and Fabinho at the back, just so they can kind of build their relationship up a bit more?
Looking back on it, should have been,
lads.
Looking back on it, it should have been.
That's what I thought was said last stream as well.
Sorry, let Darren go first, then the floor's open.
My signal's going to be crap.
Oh, what I thought. Yeah, it should have been, looking back on it, obviously, it should have been Fabinho, Matip. There was a lot of mixture of players in there tonight. Some hadn't played together. Shimikas' first game, home debut. I was saying yesterday, no better start under the lights at Anfield, European night. Obviously, minus the fans, it's not good. But from attacking sense, I thought he offered something good. But defensively, wasn't great. Passing was a bit off. But front, the three in midfield and the three up front didn't offer us anything tonight, and that's very unlike Liverpool, especially at home. Defensively, obviously we weren't great either, and young Reece Williams, look, he'll learn, lads. He was only, was he playing for Kidderminster a year ago? He's going to learn. Matip, I didn't think any of them was great tonight. Neco particularly wasn't either. I thought he was very poor. But it's learning. It is the Champions League. It's tough. They were coming today. There was no pressure on them. Always coming to a ground like Anfield with no pressure on you. You're going to come out. They come out the blocks. I mentioned yesterday, they got 98 goals in Serie A last season to a title contender. So there is something about them. And we've seen that tonight. And we sometimes have to give credit where credit's due. We were off it tonight, absolutely. Made a lot of changes. It backfired. But it is what it is. I don't want to be too critical because at the same time, these young fellas will become good, and there'll be times where we be on this praising them and saying how great they are. So yeah, it was definitely off tonight. And look, Reece, I mean, he's paid the ultimate price, hasn't he, by just a lack of concentration, focus tonight with that second goal. But I think their confidence was huge, massive 10 foot after they got that first goal. The first goal they got, I should say, then for the second goal. So it is what it is, lads. It's usually disappointing, but we move on. As I said, 2 games left. Wouldn't surprise me if we get 6 points out of the remaining 2.
Darren, could I ask Darren the question there quick, please, Alex? Darren, do you think that, like, and I don't know how you can say today is, I know you never said this, I'm just saying in general. I don't know how you can say today was worse than the Aston Villa game, but do you think, because in my opinion, I think today's a show for being the worst performance of the season. I know that Aston Villa game was shite, but I just think at least we showed fight in that game. The only reason we conceded more goals is because we went for it. I just didn't see that today. What do you think, Darren? Do you think it's up there, but do you think it could even top that Villa game?
Yeah, James, because you're at home, you don't get a shot on target. There was no heart, no fight, nothing tonight, and it was so unlike Liverpool. We called them the mentality monsters, the attitude, but there was none of that tonight. We were way off it, and it was like as if we just turned up and all eyes were on Saturday. A lot of changes made. The lads just went out and thought this is a walk in the park. We beat them 5-0. These are slow, they're sluggish, they're not. And look, they're not brilliant, but tonight they turned up, they had a plan, they got that first goal, and they just went on from there, and we were shot with confidence. And I seen James Miller's interview at the end. He was usually disappointed, but he was very honest about it. But we bounced back Saturday, lads, and hopefully it's something more to talk about than tonight, and we'll get gold. So yeah, it's usually disappointing though, James.
Yeah, very disappointing. Mark makes a good point here. We've not lost at Anfield in 3 years in the league, but we've lost 2 of our last 3 games at Anfield in the Champions League. But then, obviously, that stat sounds bad. But then Leo here, James, says the game was dry, but it's not a huge issue tonight. Luckily, we have won 3 games already. I mean, how big an issue is this? Because, yes, we're talking about it might be one of the worst performances of the season, 0 shots in target. But is it just a blip? I mean, how many blips can we have before it does become an issue?
I understand people's frustrations on today's performance as an individual performance. I think it was shit. I think it was slow. I think it was very uninspiring. I think it was very lackadaisical. And I understand the frustrations that come this way, but let's just not forget, at least I was saying before, and I'm allowed to be upset about a bad performance, but I was saying before the game, we can lose this. We can lose this. Like, it's not the end of the world. If there's one game that we can go into this season that didn't really have pressure on, that didn't really consist of too much worry while watching it, even when you go 1-0 down, even when you go 2-0 down, it's that one, because we weren't really playing for nothing. And you've got to understand, when you've got one team that have got as many injuries as we've got, the fact that we actually wanted to rest our players because we're in a position, and we have put ourselves in a position, still through injuries, to still get into that position at the table. When you put that with a team that needs points in the Champions League desperately, because they're fighting for seconds with Ajax, they needed to win today, must win, otherwise you can pretty much write them off going through the next round. When you put them two together, that makes a very difficult game. Atalanta were more up for it. We had to make changes. The only thing I'm disappointed in is that I think from players like Neco Williams and Reece Williams, some players in the midfield as well, we could have saw a bit more fight. We could have saw... Do you know what me to tell you another thing I was disappointed with as well? The movement in and around their box. When we were there, Salah, Mane and all them, I thought the movement was poor, very stiff. And I just... Again, I'm not going to rant. I'm never going to rant about a team that's just lost 2-0 in a game that wasn't crucial to win. And again, the circumstances. But you could just see that mentality monsters. Darren mentioned it before. They didn't turn up today, and we suffered the consequences for that. Atalanta just got a great result. We've just been embarrassed at home. I'm not going to put anything past it. That's embarrassing. Not 2-0 to Atalanta, but no shots on target. That's embarrassing. Letting them control the game. That's embarrassing. There was a lot of things that was embarrassing about today, but to end that whole sort of paragraph with a bit of positivity, I do think we'll bounce back, and I always do think results like that result in a lot more good for Liverpool than bad, because we do usually come back well from them. So
yeah, no time in Klopp's career at Liverpool so far has he lost 2 games in a row, I think. So we normally do bounce back. I think so. I think definitely in the league, 100%. We've never lost 2 games in a row under Klopp. Whether it's all comps, I'm not 100% sure, but we normally always come back. Darren, if there is one thing to take tonight, and this is literally clutching at straws. I mean, I am scraping the bottom of the barrel here to find anything good at all. But at least there was no injuries tonight.
I was just about to say that. No injuries, 1 game without injuries, and that's something positive to take away. I suppose, look, the positive is that we could afford to lose tonight. We will. Look, we're going to go through in this, lads. The question is, will we get first place or second? It's not going to matter, because when we get to the knockout stages in February, we'll be one of the favourites to do it. And I'm hopefully by then we have a lot more players fit and ready in the squad, and we'll have a centre-half situation sorted when it comes to the window, whether we bring in a player or whatever happens, we'll see. I suppose the positive from tonight was that, as I said, we could afford to lose tonight, but some of the youngsters will reflect on this, and that they'll be disappointed as much as any of us are, lads. You know, a lot of them kids have good fighting passion in them, so I think that's something they will do, and they take a lot of learning from it, and they'll be back again knocking on the door and wanting to get in and prove a point. And I suppose a response as well from tonight. We got beaten, a bit of reality check. Probably what's needed going into Saturday, because Brighton's going to be tough. Every time we go there, it's a hard game. Lamptey's out for them the weekend, suspended, so that'd be a big plus for us. Hopefully we can have Hendo back. I thought it doesn't look like Thiago's going to be back. Jota, Bobby, Salah, Mane will be back available. So there's positives going into it, but it's disappointing still. But Saturday, as I said, we'll be on here after 2:00, and hopefully it's we're all smiles on top of the table and back on top of the Kop. And on top of the tree for Christmas soon. Yeah.
Very good.
I don't know yet, mate. Tell me about it.
Yeah. So James, how do we react to this one then? Obviously, Brighton at home, a game that we actually struggled in last season. If you remember, Alisson sent off in this fixture last season. Lewis Dunk scored a free kick, I think. This again is a team that if we play like we did tonight, we're going to lose. And we're going to lose our unbeaten record at Anfield, aren't we, if we play again like that?
We're playing again like that, we will, but we're not going to play like that again. And I think anyone with them thoughts, and I know that you're just asking the question there, but like, I think anyone who genuinely thinks we're going to go into that game with that similar performance is very naive, because you've got to bear in mind, it wasn't our strongest team. It was close to our strongest team, but literally only for the fact that even our backups are out, so we haven't really got many replacements tonight. That's why Gini Wijnaldum, I think, played today. Otherwise, I do think he would have been rested as well. But we're going to go into that Brighton game with a completely strong 11. It's the whole point we brought on players like Neco Williams and Reece Williams today. It's so that James Milner can slot in back at right back. We can bring Fabinho back into centre back, get that back four that we've been building with recently. So and then Firmino come back into the team as well. Fabinho will be massive. He was great against Leicester. He will make a big impact against Brighton. I think I hope he can pick up a bit of form now. Well, not only hope, but I feel like he can, because I think he just needs that bit of a fiery performance like he had against Leicester. And he actually weren't just the goal, it was his whole performance that was brilliant. So I'm excited to see him come back in. So many people, Diogo Jota didn't even start today. And don't get me wrong, I do think Salah and Mane should have done better, but it was hard with how just little possession of the ball we were having, we were quite negative, one of the more negative performances of the season. But you've just got to take in mind and take into consideration the circumstances surrounding today. With 9 points, we've won our first 3 games. We're very clear. We're pretty much guaranteed to go through. Like I said, we only need 2 more draws to guarantee top spot, I believe, let alone second place. So I'm sure we're going to get that. And even though Atalanta were good today, I don't think that's going to reflect anything that's going to happen against Brighton. And I actually think we'll still go on and beat Brighton, even though they are a very, very good team that always gives a challenge.
Yeah, I actually made a mistake there. It's away at Brighton. It's not at home.
Oh, okay.
On Saturday, early kickoff away at Brighton. Going to be a tough one. And FUT Salah makes a comment here. Most of the comments on the Liverpool Insta post for full time is people slating Neco. I mean, I can't call these people fans, lads. You know, I can't call them for match going fans. Like us three here. Go on, Darren.
Sorry, go ahead, Alex. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, us three, you know, we go to the games, and yes, of course, listen, at the game, we're going to have a bit of a shout if we don't see something we like. We're going to have a bit of a comment to say about things, but I don't even want to talk about it too much, lads. But it is a disgrace, like James said. He's a young lad, and it's unfair that he gets the blame.
It's a good performance as well. Sorry, Darren.
No, yeah, just saying there, James. I totally agree. It's a group performance. Look, you have to stick with the team through thick and thin. Tonight was just one of those games. Obviously, Neco didn't play well. He wasn't the only one. A couple of the senior lads as well weren't up to it. I thought Genie as well wasn't great, but he's played a lot of football lately. Internationally. He's scored goals. He's, as I only mentioned Friday, he's one of the players that always puts himself available. One of the first names on the team sheet. Super fit, and there's a lot to be said for that, because at the moment we can see players are dropping and they're not availability as much as we'd like, so there's a lot to be said for players being available. Look, Neco, he's going to learn, lads, and sometimes I said defeats like this will make them come back stronger and better, and I'm hoping so after tonight.
I agree there, Dad, and I think, you know what, the thing about Neco, and I say this all the time, I've said it in other videos that I've done on here, and I've said it on my channel, I've said it on other platforms. When it comes to Neco Williams, and any player, you can slate him if he's had a bad performance that day, but you slate him on his performance. You can have an opinion. It's wrong for me to say, oh, you shouldn't say Neco Williams is shit or was shit today. You can say that if that's how you feel. You know, if Neco Williams takes that to heart, then that's his problem. He should try and make that better. But when you're there saying, you know, I had people before saying, sell Neco Williams, he's shit, he should never play for Liverpool again. It's like, are you, like, so you're a Liverpool fan, supposedly, you're saying that out of the best for the club, when realistically, when Neco Williams is a piece of what Liverpool is, it might be a very small one, but he's still a piece of what we are right now. We've got to support him. He's our right back. He's our right back right now. It might not be Trent. It might even Milner and Trent might be above him when they're fit. But he is still a right back for Liverpool Football Club, and you support your right back. You support any player who puts on that shirt. It's not like he's came out and done like a Marco Grujic, where he's coming out and slating his own teammates. He's had a bad performance. He's not going to have done that on purpose. He's going to have wanted to play well today. I think, why don't you try and look at the positive side of it and think of it as, how about get with more minutes, just like a Curtis Jones, just like any young player, you will become better. Neco Williams has got the attributes to be a good right back, and he's still very young, and more training around first team players, like what he's surrounded by, more minutes could be massive for him. And I'm not saying that he should play in Prem games. I think we could maybe squeeze him into one more Champions League game, depending on our next results in the Champions League, FA Cup as well, of course. Maybe even next season, get him out on loan, and we'll deal with who we're going to get in for right back then as well. But don't give up on him. And even if he's not good enough, even if you believe deep down in your heart that he's not good enough, you're not wrong to think that. I'm in two minds about it. I'm still not sure, but I'm still willing to give him the chance. I'm still willing to believe in the process. Yet, even though I do believe in the process, I still think you're not wrong to however you believe, but you cannot be going beyond just slating his performance, in my opinion. Anything more than that, I don't associate myself with you.
Yes, and I think Ryan makes a great point here that people seem to remember, seem to forget Jordan Henderson received a lot of stick from fans early on in his Liverpool career. But he'd probably be most fans' first choice midfielder right now when fit.
That's so true. What a comment.
Great comment.
Someone who came into my live stream before, Ryan, very good comment, very true as well. Jordan Henderson. I was a player that I will come out and openly admit that I criticised a lot back in the day when he would pass the ball sideways too much. I didn't think like he added anything as a Liverpool captain back in the day, and I wanted a captain who would add something to our team. But one thing that
Yeah,
I'm also very happy with is when a player proves you wrong, and that's what Henderson done. So.
Yeah, and Trent as well. I remember in the early days, 3 seasons ago, Trent was getting the team. We went away to Palace and we won. And I think he was whipped off. He got a lot of stick for the first few games when he was starting and breaking into the team. We were a lot more inconsistent then under Jurgen, but you could see through pre-season he developed more. He wanted it and he got it. And I'm not going to say that's going to happen to Neco Williams as well, because I do believe there's a big drop off in class now. But there would be. He's 19. Trent's that bit older, but Trent's a lot of experience internationally now, Champions League, Premier League. After obviously winning the Super Cup, World Club Cup, Champions League, Premier League, he's the big honours now, where Nico's only starting off. So, look, there's pressure on him. When the going gets tough, it's sometimes worse when he's involved in the games that we're losing in and the games that we're putting the kids out in, where there's a big mixture of stuff. But if you were to put him in the best Liverpool team, I'm sure he would perform better and he's getting involved more. And I did say yesterday about some of the players not getting into the team. The only way you improve and get better is by playing consistently and regularly with the lads. And we can't slate him too much. I think it's very harsh, but people will still have different opinions, and I suppose it's all a part of the opinions. But I disagree as well, like what you were saying, James.
Yeah, I think. Well, actually, I want to just ask both of you a question. Do you think, and it might be a stupid question, by all means, say if it is, if Neco Williams was Scouse, do you think he'd be getting the stick that he gets off these below par performances? But do you think if he was a Scouse football player for us, do you think
maybe
that fans would go as far in?
No, I think you've got a point there, to be fair. I think Scousers love to, obviously, and it goes for every kind of region in England and the UK and all over the world, they obviously stick up for their own, don't they? And I think Curtis Jones did get a little bit of stick early on in some of his performances, but with time, as you've both said, he's obviously come on and become quite an important part of the squad. Neco Williams, I do believe, with more time, he will become an important part of the squad. But James has got a point. I think if he was a local lad, you might be getting a bit more protection. And to be fair, he's only from Chester, I think it is. So he's not a million miles away. But yeah, I think you've got a point, James. And it's important to say. I think he's Welsh. He's Welsh.
Yeah.
He registers for a Welsh team. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's playing well for Wales.
He is. He scored a winner for Wales the other day. So we can't say he's not ready for this level, because he's scoring goals at international level. So time will tell. And I think it's a difficult one. The thing is that we can all pretty much agree on, just before you go and I bring in Hitman, we need Jordan Henderson to play in every single game. I think that's one of the conclusions that we can draw from tonight, is that without Henderson, and however many of us thought that we wouldn't be saying this years ago, that's fine. But now we can all admit that Jordan Henderson is a key player. Just a quick one before I send you off, Darren and James, a quick word about this man tonight, who, obviously has passed away, 60 years of age, Diego Maradona. I mean, unbelievable player, one of the best.
Yeah, one of the true legends of the game, to ever grace the footballing planet, up there with the very, very ultimate best word or any top of world class you can call someone. He just fits all that, doesn't he? I wasn't fortunate enough, obviously, to have seen him ever play. There was only a documentary out a while ago on Channel 4, and it got a good insight into when he was in Napoli, Barcelona, like just an unbelievable. But true role model for a lot of people growing up in Argentina, and it's he was just immortal, wasn't he? Very sad, devastating. It was actually on the same day, 25th of November, that George Best passed away as well.
Yeah,
so on the anniversary. But what a legend, El Diego. He'll always be remembered, won't he? And it's a sad day for football.
Yeah, mate, I can't. Darren's just basically said everything that you can say about the man. Legend in every aspect of the sport. You can't take anything away from him about anything that he's done throughout his career. Yet, we had that infamous goal against England, and England fans can rightly be angry about that, but that's the football competitiveness. We have it with players like Luis Suarez, who's still another class player. And when you talk about Maradona, mate, you're talking about, if not the greatest, if you don't put him in your top 3, then of all time, then I don't really know if you have that same nostalgia for football as maybe I do. But a legend of the game will forever be missed and will forever be remembered for what he done on the pitch and the big moments that he created for club and country.
Oh,
Yeah.
beautifully put, lads. Really, I'm getting hairs on my arm standing up. And
also, Alex, can I just say one more thing, if that's all right, my mate?
Sure.
Also, just want to say rest in peace to Heavy D as well, obviously from Arsenal Fan TV. You know, many years went on there. He's in our industry, and it always hits hard when you hear anyone pass away. But 43 years of age, had so much charisma, was very, very funny. And I'm not just one of them people who's saying this now because of what's happened, but he was a very funny man. He really brought a smile to my face, and whether you liked him or you didn't, you've just got to respect his charisma. He was a top man, and I never had the pleasure of meeting him, but I really do hope he rests easy, and obviously condolences to his family as well.
Yeah, just one thing on that as well, James. Alex, I seen Robbie, the Dawn of AFTV earlier on Instagram, had a post up about him, and that's where I first found out what happened to him. I didn't know him. I know he was a bit of a celebrity on the telly on Big Brother before, but I never met him, didn't know him. But obviously, rest in peace as well to him. Very sad when in the industry of this stuff has seen that. Like, I don't know whether you know him, Alex, but devastating news, and it's hard enough times as there is, and then you get that sort of news. So condolences to obviously his family and people closest to him.
Just a really sad day today, all round.
Very weird, very, very weird day. Even before the game
weird
kicked off.
Day, bro.
That's
really
what
weird.
It is. It's like, you know what? It's not even the game itself. Like, don't get me wrong, when Liverpool lose, it always makes my day worse. But even going into that game, the energy just surrounding right now is just very, very strange. And it has been a very sad day, and them two will be forever missed 100%.
Yeah, listen, tomorrow is a new day. We pray for better times. But for now, Darren and James, thank you for your lovely words. Couldn't win tonight, but we will see James back on the channel tomorrow at 5 o'clock.
Yes, can't wait.
When we debut the Kop to Bottom Premier League preview show, looking ahead to 5 key games at the weekend from the Kop to the bottom of the Premier League table. So that's something to look forward to. Lads, much love, and I'll see you both.
All the best, lads. Take care. Good evening.
It's right, Darren. See you later. See you later, Alex.
See you, James. Take care, Alex. All the best, lads.
Right then, our final fan camera for this evening. Hitman, how you doing, my bro? It's been a while. I hope you're well. You're smiling, but a lot of Liverpool fans tonight are not smiling. We will get your thoughts on Maradona and Heavy D at the end. But yeah, talk to me about your thoughts from the game this evening. Poor, very poor.
Yeah, you know what? It don't surprise me, to be fair. After Leicester on the weekend, I thought we'd be a bit flat today, to be fair. Like,
you thought we would, okay.
Yeah, I thought we'd be a bit flat, to be fair. Like, I think we put a lot in the Leicester game. Coming into this game again, made a few changes. It's just disrupted the team, like the fluidity. Like, there weren't no fluidity today.
Team selection, though, Hitman.
Nah, it wasn't really. I don't know, man. It's a bit off today. I don't think he should have played Origi, to be fair. I'm not really his biggest fan. I think he should have probably started Bobby or played Minamino up front, because the simple fact to hold up the ball, Origi's not very good at holding the ball at all. I think that's why we struggled tonight, to be fair, up front. Mane was off as well. I never seen him play. I ain't seen Mane play that poor for a while.
Yeah.
Salah was off as well. Just weren't ticking today. We just never got started the whole game, so it didn't surprise me he was going to lose.
Yeah, do you know, when you put it like that, it isn't really a surprise that we lost today. I mean, again, you have to give credit to Atalanta for outplaying us, keeping the ball, knocking it around. Gomez had a great game.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just one of those games. I mean, for you, is this worse than the Aston Villa performance? We mentioned it earlier.
Nah, it actually wasn't. You know, I think Villa was proper poor. Like, that's probably the poorest we've ever played in the last probably 2 or 3 years, I'd say, easily. Tonight we tried to get a goal, we tried to push, but just wasn't there tonight. I think we just blew ourselves out from the Leicester game, to be honest. And now we've got another game coming up on Saturday, so I think we just kind of wasn't at the races today. We just actually wasn't at it, and Atlanta was better than us today, so I have to give them credit today.
Yeah, listen, we've spoken for 50 minutes about how poor Liverpool were. a couple words from yourself then, bro, about the passing of first Diego Maradona.
Yeah. You know what? I found out late in the day today, man. Like, proper shock, because 60 is still only young, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man, legend, man. I actually got to see him play on actually in World Cup on TV, you know what I mean? Like, and play a few matches for club and stuff. So, legend, man. He was Messi before Messi. You know what I mean? Like, top 2 best players of all time. Him and Pele for me. So, you know what I mean? Football lost a big legend today.
So sad.
Big loss.
Football did, and the YouTube world lost another face so sadly today. Apparently, Heavy D was apparently found unresponsive at his kitchen table at the age of 43. Again, no age to go. So sad. Well, we really have to in a time like this, we've really got to start looking out for each other a little bit more, man, because
definitely.
I think, and I definitely wouldn't want to ever say anything that I don't think I believe, but I do think this was unfortunately the only option left for Heavy D, as from what I've heard about how he was found.
Yeah,
which obviously is a common issue with men.
Yeah, it's a shame. 2020 has just been it's a test for everyone mentally, physically, you know what I mean? And some people are stronger than the others that can get through it. Some people sadly ain't, you know what I mean? It's a sad loss, man. Every time I've ever seen him on the TV or on the YouTube, full of energy, bubbly, good character, you could tell he's a good-hearted person. So it's a shock, man. It's a shock. Sad loss for the Arsenal TV as well, man.
Yeah, they was actually the first people that I found out about this news from this morning. So big sad day for Arsenal Fan TV as well. But listen, bro, we go again on Saturday, a big game away at Brighton, the early kickoff. Give us your score prediction for that one.
I'm gonna go 3-1 Liverpool. I think we're gonna blow them away, to be fair. I think this is the thing with Liverpool. Like, this is why I think we're such an elite team. We lost tonight, played poor. We very rarely play poorly 2 games in a row. So I think Brighton on the weekend are going to get rolled over again. Like I say, Leicester are a much better team than Brighton. And we outplayed Leicester and blew them away. So I just don't see Brighton having enough to beat us. The only worry for me is hopefully he plays Milner.
You want Milner to start on Saturday against Brighton?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm not too sure about Nico Williams now. Like, he's a top talent, but I just don't think he's quite ready yet. He needs to probably work on his strength, and he's not the quickest as well. So I think this is why he gets caught out on the ball a lot, because he's not very quick, and he always wants to turn back and play it back. And he got caught out a few times tonight trying to do the same thing all the time. So I'd probably go for Milner, for the simple fact he knows how to play better with the wingers, and he's better defensively than Neco. I'd probably play Milner right back, Fabinho and Matip, Robbo. It's just who we're going to play in midfield right now. Right, we've got a lot of injuries. I'm hoping Thiago's back for the weekend, hopefully, because we're actually down to the bare bones now. Like, Naby's out.
Yeah,
I don't know what about Hendo? Is Hendo back on the weekend?
I think Klopp usually does his press conferences for Premier League games on Thursday if it's a Saturday kickoff. So this time tomorrow, I think we should have an update on all the injuries, whether that's Ox, Hendo, Trent probably is a couple of weeks off, and the others as well. So it'd be good to get an update. But mate, Hitman, thanks for coming on, bro. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you soon. Liverpool 0, Atalanta 2. Not the best result, but hey, listen, we go again on Saturday. Take care.